Howdy folks, it's me Kendall and welcome to Adventures with Kendall, and we're here at the Museum of Western Film History here in Lone Pine, California. Located in the charming Owens Valley town of Lone Pine along the 395, the history of Western filmmaking is a great exploration into the history of filmmaking, particularly filmmaking that was done within the Lone Pine area. Ever since the first film, The Roundup, starring Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle, was shot here in 1920, the Lone Pine area has been a favorite of filmmakers for its scenic location and unique geological landmarks that makes it the perfect area to film an epic or a TV show, whether it's a Western, epic adventure, or even science fiction. And to further explain the uniqueness of this museum, we've asked the museum's director, Steve, to give us a tour of the place. Steve, what can you tell us about your lovely museum?
Well, this is the Museum of Western Film History in Lone Pine. It was built in 2006, and it's devoted to the history of Western filmmaking and other filmmaking, not just Westerns, films that were shot in the Lone Pine, Alabama Hills area.
Can you tell us any specific highlights you want visitors to see when they come here?
Well, one of the big highlights that everybody gets excited about over here is a standee. Everybody loves Tremors. It was filmed here 35 years ago. And this is just a taste. We actually have a full-on Tremors exhibit with a lot of rare props and artifacts in the back of the museum. Everybody always gravitates towards Tremors. And Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained was filmed in part in Lone Pine. And the production company donated the original Dr. Schultz's wagon that was driven by Christoph Waltz in the film. And Quentin donated his director's chair from the film. And on the other side, we have some prop dynamite. We have a signed script signed by the cast and crew. So this always attracts a lot of attention when people show up.
While we were with Steve, we decided to have a fun tour with him of this wonderful museum. Come on, let's go.
Well, we'll start with this one over here. Humphrey Bogart came up here in 1941 and made what is considered one of the classic gangster films, High Sierra. And it was shot in Lone Pine and right up Whitney Portal. And this was the actual car that Bogart drove in that film. Ida Lupino was an actress who was his co-star in this film. Lone Pine had a major effect on her. A number of years after she made this film with Bogart, she decided she wanted to become a writer-director. And in 1953, she came up and she directed a film in Lone Pine called The Hitchhiker. This was in the film noir genre. It was all shot in the Alabama Hills. It's considered one of the most frightening film noir films. It's the first major film about a serial killer. It's based on a true story. She interviewed the actual killer and wrote the script around that. It's also the only film noir movie from that era that was directed by a woman. She sort of, busted the glass ceiling for women directors when she did this film. This is an original 1928 camera truck that we restored and placed in the museum, and it's so authentic that they used it in the 2020 film Mank, because it's a film about the making of Citizen Kane, and they wanted a vintage camera truck in their film. Now, how was it used? So back in the day, when they were making Western movies, the camera truck would be placed in position in front of the cowboy actor on a horse. Here we see Gene Autry in the Alabama Hills getting ready, and he'd basically be chasing this camera truck. There's a shot that's very famous that was used in Western, still is used. It's called a running insert. And what it is when you see it, the cowboy is riding his horse very fast, but the background is moving with him because he's chasing a camera truck. And so the camera's moving and the actor on the horse is moving, and it's a really exciting shot. So what they would do is they'd line up, they'd rev the engine of the truck, they'd call for the truck to take off. The truck would take off at high speed, and then they'd cue the actor, and the actor would ride after and chase the truck. And he'd be riding forward, and they'd be backing up as they're getting the shot.
While we're on the subject of Westerns, this museum is a great showcase of the singing cowboys. Whether it's Roy Rogers or the king of cowboys himself, Gene Autry, who made 18 films within the Lone Pine area, particularly within the Alabama hills.
Why don't you join me in a stick of Doublemint?
Speaking of Gene Autry, there's a fun story about the making of one of his films related to one of the bigger artifacts within this museum. So, can you tell me what's so special about this car?
There was a 1947 movie called Trail to San Antone. It starred Gene Autry. It was filmed in Lone Pine. It co-starred Peggy Stewart, who's a very pretty woman. And in one sequence, Peggy is in the car along with an actor named Tris Coffin. And Gene Autry, or actually his stunt double, is going to jump a horse over the car. So Gene's not on the horse, but Peggy and Tris are in the car, and they were just told to duck. And so they duck, and the stuntman jumps the horse over the car.
Now, the guys you see in TV Westerns weren't just actors, they were businessmen as well, making smart moves to ensure they're gaining any profit from their work. And this includes merchandising. And to prove this point, let's take a look at one such cowboy, Hopalong Cassidy. Hey, can you tell me about the Hopalong Cassidy exhibit over here? It looks really nice.
Well, Hopalong Cassidy was played by William Boyd. He did 66 feature films plus a TV series. Almost half of the feature films he shot were shot in Lone Pine. He loved working here. But the clever thing about William Boyd is he was the original genius at merchandising, because in the period where Hopalong Cassidy existed, was big with kids, he put his name on everything, and it was all good stuff.
When she asks you to have a glass of milk, drink it.
Now, it's not just Westerns that are being filmed out here. There have been many epic movies that were shot here because the area resembles geographical locations outside of the United States. Whether it's the rocky landscape of the Middle East or the high mountainous country within the Roman Empire, the Alabama hills are a great place for filmmaking in unique locations. Even if they have to alter the shot with some good old-fashioned filmmaking tricks to achieve the shot desired from the movie. And that was our tour of the Museum of Western Filmmaking. It was a wonderful experience to see the unique history of filmmaking within the area of Lone Pine. Stay tuned for when we come back to talk about the science fiction section of this wonderful museum. While you're here at the museum, check out the gift shop if you want to buy merchandise related to the filmmaking history or the area in general. This includes guidebooks to locations where famous films were shot within the Alabama hills. Anyway, I had a splendid time here seeing all the film history in this museum. And I want to give Steve a nice thank you for the tour of this wonderful place. Thank you for your time and helping us understand what's in your museum.
It's my pleasure. Absolutely. Thanks for coming. And folks, come see us.
Thank you for watching, and subscribe and come back for more adventures like this. Until then, may your gifts bless the world.